I IG Falcon, what up, bro? Waist fine. What's going on with you? We got Instagram, we got Facebook, we got Twitter, we got YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Hop in. We're gonna go live here in a second. Y'all already know the drill. Make sure you drop your name, where you chiming in from. Cause today we're gonna talk about, are you unhappy with your accomplishments? Are you unhappy with the lack of accomplishments? Are you unhappy with the success or the lack of success that you feel you have not had? We're going to talk about that. Yes, sir. This is why I got the REI 90 course. Thank you. Welcome. We got Chicago in the house. Welcome. Cal from Milwaukee. What up? Cal, I might be in Milwaukee next week, man. We got Cleveland in the house. Are you unhappy with the lack of results, the lack of success? Do you feel you lack purpose in your life? We're going to talk about that. Tonight, we're going to have a real conversation, y'all. We got New York in the house. We got Atlanta. We got Dallas. Texas is always in the house. What up, Malik? LA is in the house. Alabama. We got Detroit. What up, though? We got Florida. Tonight we're going to have a real convo, y'all. Can we have a real dialogue? I want to know, can we have a real dialogue today? Like, everything doesn't have to be about plays and hacks and tips. Because let me tell you guys something. A lot of people have access to every credit hack, every business hack, every real estate hack, every trucking hack, and they're still unsuccessful and they're still unhappy. So we need to have a real conversation today. We need to have a real conversation. This may be the dialogue you need to get over the hump. This may be that dialogue you need to get over that hump. Because the X's and O's is not how you become successful. It's not how you hit the goal. Think about a professional athlete. A professional athlete is the best of the best in that sport. I don't care what team they play on, what position. I know people who are called fans may have players who they say are scrubs, but I guarantee you they're still the best of the best. They're in the top 1%. Okay. I got a typo. Okay. Y'all already know I can't spell. But would you rather say I am smart or I is a millionaire? So, yeah, everybody know I can't spell well. And these smartphones aren't too smart. An athlete is in the top 1% in their sport, but yet they still never get to the championship. They still never win the medal, even though they have all the X's and O's. So knowing everything does not get you to that next level. That's what we're going to talk about today. Are you unhappy? Sometimes I'm sad because I can't spell. I don't know why I can't figure this. Well, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I fell asleep in that class. I don't know. But you don't have to know how to spell to sign a check. Let me just say that. That's one thing I learned very quickly. You don't have to know how to spell to sign a check or to cash a check. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about, are you unhappy? Do you feel unfulfilled in your life? You got to pay someone to spell for you. No, you don't have. I mean, that's why I have a copywriter. So I actually do pay somebody to spell for me. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm on my own, this is what happened when I handle my own Instagram. It's spelling errors, punctuation errors, but that's okay because that just makes me human. That makes me human. But I'll tell you what I am good at. I will tell you what I am good at. See, one of the things, I actually read an article about the country Finland. And Finland was actually ranked the happiest country in the world for the fifth consecutive year. Finland was ranked the happiest country in the world for the fifth, not once, but the fifth consecutive year. And I was like, I need to know why, how this is possible. Okay. I need to know how this is possible. And so I go on to read this article, and you guys can actually Google this. This is a real article. The reason they are the happiest country in the world for the fifth year in a row is because they live by their own terms. They're not trying to be like any other country out there. And it made me think about just my own personal life and my own personal journey, that a lot of the times we as humans, but let me say me, Will Roundtree sometimes gets in his own head because I'm looking and paying attention to things and people who I have no business comparing myself to. I'm disturbing my own peace, unfortunately, because I'm paying attention to people who are not even in my hemisphere, or they shouldn't be. Because I tell myself I'm here. And as much as we tell ourselves this, we all go through it. A lot of people are unhappy because they're comparing their lives, they're comparing their soundtrack of their life to someone else's. Like, look, here's something I've never understood to save my life. Here's something I've never understood, and I just don't get. I don't get the fandom with celebrities. I just don't get that. And here's what I mean. I've never seen so many people who feel unfulfilled in life because they're comparing themselves to a fictional individual, a celebrity. Like you're not even in the hemisphere of the life that they live. And I'm not even talking about monetary. I'm talking about just the walk that they have to walk in their life. I mean, even just in my personal life, the magnifying glass that I'm put up under. So I can imagine someone who's an A-list, got a star on Hollywood Walk of Fame, a Grammy Award winner, a top-rated producer, like someone who has a whole different level of shine, the level of scrutiny that they're under. Or not only that, people are so fascinated by what they're wearing, where they're shopping. Anytime you can influence people to eat or wear a certain item of clothing because we deem this person as someone we hold to a high standard because they're a celebrity, that's way too much going on for me. I tell myself, I don't even contribute in the fandom world unless I'm doing business with them. I've always kind of lived like that. That's why I don't even post pictures with a lot of the individuals who I take pictures with, because it's never about that with me. But people put themselves in a scenario to where they damn near go crazy feeling unfulfilled because they're trying to run and walk the race of someone who they're not even in the same game as them. So when I read this article, it blew my mind because people make themselves unhappy comparing themselves to other people. And with all of the smoke and mirrors, most of the people who you comparing yourself to are usually in a worse situation than you. I know people on television with hit shows who are broke. I know athletes who with championship rings who are broke. They're just broker at a higher level. I once went through this. And let me tell you why we go through this at times. A lot of the times we as individuals, we go through this because of the imposter syndrome that we have. We've made it almost we've made it almost kind of like an unspoken law that you can't talk about your own accomplishments without someone think you're bragging. But it's okay to brag about a celebrity. It's okay to you can go and brag about somebody who has no connection to you, and you have no connection to them. But you can't talk about your own accomplishments. Stop paying attention to what everybody else has going on. I've learned to go through life with blinders on and be so laser focused on what I have going on. I'm not paying attention to what anybody else has going on. I don't know the latest dance. I don't know who dropped an album. I just learned that NBA stands for NBA Young Boy or whatever his name is. I'm just learning these new terms and who these new rappers are. And so I remember having a dialogue with a good friend of mine, um, who's extremely successful and has accomplished a lot in the entertainment industry. And we were just talking about some things, and I'm going to be, very transparent with you guys today. There's been moments in my life where I have to remind myself of this every single day, because I too find myself falling prisoner of my own admission of paying attention to things I have no business paying attention to. Yeah, never broke again. I see. I just learned who these new rappers are. NBA Youngboy stands for never broke again. And from what I heard, yeah, he's running the bag up, so he picked a good name. I'm not even mad at him. I had to read up on this kid. Like two, and soon I'm going to actually share my full story. You guys don't really know a lot about Will Roundtree, the person, and that's actually by design. But I've always been a very kind of reserved person. What up, fam? I'm very introverted, but at the same time, when it comes to business, I'm about my business. But I also am human, and there was a part of 2023 where I was feeling like, man, how come I'm not this, or I'm not at this position, not knowing what I've already accomplished. But see, what happens is we confuse optics with accomplishments. Somebody type that in the chat. We confuse optics with accomplishments. We assume we take a small frame of a millisecond of someone posting their highlight reel of their life, and we compare our entire 43-year existence, because I'm 43, we compare our entire 43-year existence to someone's millisecond of a frame, and not even knowing that that's not even where they are. It's not. Nobody ever shows the low points in their life. And so we have to continue to tell ourselves this, that you have to run your own race. So with that said, let me introduce myself. My name is Will Roundtree. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 414, stand up. Go back home all the time. And I actually wrote down a few things. Okay. But first, let me tell you the odds that I beat. I've known you for over 20 years and can attest that you are speaking the truth. Very reserved, always introspective, and always committed 100%, even through the drama. Proud of you, bro. Nadir, what's going on, man? Hey, if you free, bro, I would love for you to hop on here, man. This is actually one of my mentors. Got it. I mean, we went through this journey way back, and a lot of where I am today is because of this brother right here. So I don't know if he's available. He's probably somewhere in the world. Oh, okay, I was able to get him. What's going on, bro?
What's happening, bro, man? Definitely proud of you.
Thank you,
got
man.
going on. Yeah, definitely somewhere in the world, because where I'm at right now, the sun is up.
I already know. I know you were somewhere.
Yeah, 9 a.m., man, 9 a.m. Definitely been enjoying your journey, man. Just seeing you empower people, man, and really commit to it on another level. Really commit to you and your family and being on it. Seeing you on right now, I just got to meet my kids and getting some stuff for their business. But again, what the brother is teaching you, he keep it 100. I mean, the struggles, when you talk about being transparent and knowing the story of where he had to go and what he did have, where he lived, that had four wheels, and to see him now empowering people, committing, seeing the courses and the love and the giving that comes from it, it can be a little challenging. We all know that. And I got some years on you with these grades. It can be challenging, but it's worth every single bit, man. Seeing your family, your little man, doing the thing only because you chose to be different, and only because you chose to lift other people up. That right there, it warms my heart, and I love it, man. You know what I'm saying? We cheering people on.
Thank you, man.
From that 4-1 from all over the world, man. So I got my breakfast, you know, that one of my wives just bought in for me. So I'm going to go ahead and dig into that and start this day. Appreciate you. I'm going to be paying attention to you. I wasn't planning, obviously, coming on live.
No, appreciate that, man.
Bro,
no,
continue to follow people.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Nadir, right, man. Appreciate you. Peace. So for those who don't know, that's my brother Nadir out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was so instrumental in my journey and just really taking me under his wing. And he was actually the first person to get me to speak in front of a room. I don't know if you remember that. And I was up there and I just butchered the whole, it was really bad. It was really bad, yo. You know what I'm saying? But I just stuck with it, man. I stuck with it, yo.
I'm gonna disconnect.
All right, from here. No doubt, man. Appreciate that. So, right. So definitely. Okay. So I want to introduce again for those who don't know. I am Will Roundtree. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada, right now. I've been in Las Vegas since 2005. I still remember the exact day of me booking my one-way flight to Las Vegas. October 5th, 2005, I caught a one-way flight to Las Vegas. The airline was AirTran. They're not even around anymore. This was back when you can I used to go to cheaptickets.com. I bought a one-way ticket for $49 to Las Vegas. You actually still can fly to Vegas very cheap because they want you to spend all your money inside the casino. Now, on top of that, everybody knows the struggle. They know, I borrowed $500 from my mentor. They know I was homeless. They know I was sleeping in my car. They know I was living on Flamingo and Swenson. They knew, you guys know that I was eating Top Ramen and Captain Crunch every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know I was sleeping on floors on top of bath towels and I had a bedroom. Well, it wasn't a bedroom set. I had a bed in my living room. I had a 17-inch television on the floor. Like you guys know all of the bad, or I'm not going to say all of the bad stuff, all of the things that helped me grow. I've been talking about all of that for years. But let me share with you some of the accomplishments that I've had. I had to actually write them down because they're usually not at the top of mind. Let me see if I can find a couple of them here. So, first of all, I'm a 2-time best-selling author. I'm a 2-time I had to come to realization that I'm actually in that category. My first book, Credit is King. See, one of the things that I learned on this journey, being an author gives you a different level of credibility. Okay? Being an author gives you a different level of credibility. Thank you, Cuz. Thank you, Eugene, for the badges. When your book actually sells, that's a whole different level of credibility. I want you guys, don't take anything that I say for face value. Please Google it. Just like I want you to Google this story about Finland being the happiest country in the world 5 years in a row. Credit is King is in the top 0.5% of best-selling books in finance as well as in business management. Let me say that again. Credit is King. This book right here was written by the same individual who I was told by the age of 21 I'll be dead or in jail, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, off of 47th and Hampton. College dropout. Didn't know where I was going. Lost everything twice. Slept in my car. To now being a 2-time best-selling author. This book is in the top 0.5, not 1%, 0.5% out of 3.1 million books written in this category worldwide. I'm number 13,000. When you break that down, that's 0.5% of all books sold in that particular category. So I now can say that I am a best-selling author, and the book still sells to this day. And then I'm not a one-time author. I am a 2-time author, because I also wrote the book Full-Time CEO, The Shit They Don't Tell You, which is also in the top 1% of books in the business category. Again, the same guy who was homeless, I lost everything twice. Like you name it. You've been through it. I've been through it just as much. I just didn't publicize it. I didn't put it on Facebook. You can't find one thing that I'm talking about somebody or me sharing. I'm throwing subliminals at people from my past. Like I don't do any of that on social media. Maybe that's why people keep unfollowing me, because I don't post gossip. When they say, man, this dude page boring. So that's why I keep getting unfollows. And I'm cool with that. Appreciate that, Crown. Thank you, man. 2-time best-selling author. TEDx speaker. Someone, you guys just met one of my good friends, my brother, my mentor, Nadir. He will tell you. He was the first person to put me in front of the room. He forced me into my level of greatness. That's why I always appreciate him. Always gonna have love for my bro. He saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself back in the day. You couldn't pay me to speak in a room with 2 people to now where I am a TEDx speaker. And I was fortunate enough to go up there and talk about the power of fear, the power of failure. Yes, both books are on audio version as well. The power of failure was what I talked about, because I used my story to talk about how I overcame so many things, which is the only reason why I'm here today, because I looked at failure as not being final. Failure was just a price I had to pay to be here today. Somebody type that down. Failure is the price you pay for the success that you want. I was willing to pay that price. Some people don't even want to pay the price of admission to change their mindset, let alone to be successful, to your own definitions of success. 2-time best-selling author, TEDx speaker. For those who don't know, and I actually just learned this, and this one of my cousins who's in his second year. He's a second year practicing attorney who basically is an attorney on the political level. So he's going to like the White House, like he's dealing with the political level. And he talks about how he brags about me in his office because being a TEDx speaker is at a very high regard, because they know that, one, speaking in front of people is not easy. And 2, to get tapped and be invited to speak in front of a TEDx means that people want to hear what you have to say. He had to tell it to me like that for me to really understand the magnitude, because I'm just so used to just walking my journey that I don't even take a step back to look at what Will Roundtree has accomplished. It got to the point where I didn't even talk about to my family what I've accomplished. So you guys get this first. I've mentored over 50,000 individuals directly and indirectly. I was one of the first blacks on the internet talking about credit and finances and funding and leverage and debt servicing. I contributed to the birth of this culture of financial literacy in our community. I don't care who you name, my name comes up. Somebody put me on the phone with the gentleman from FICO, and they said my names was coming up in their offices. I've been on this journey. Whether you guys know it or not, I was on this journey before the Jay Morrison and everything. I was able to be a part of that process because of the work I put in. I've been putting in this work before there was a social media. I wasn't even on social media right away. They had to force me to get on social media. Go and look up my credit, my companies. Most of my businesses failed, but that was the price I had to pay to be here. Let me say that again. We're talking about the size of a small university, 50,000 virtual mentees. So your favorite mentor's favorite mentor, I've probably mentored. So how could Will Roundtree get in a space where he felt that he didn't accomplish anything? Because I was too busy looking at everybody else and the optics that they were trying to portray, this mirage they were trying to portray, as opposed to paying attention to my own accomplishments and the amount of people I helped. Because it was never about self-success. That's one thing that my mentor, Nadir and John and all of them taught me, that it was never about just me being at the top. I want to bring as many people with me as I can. One of my mentees, a lot of you guys may know him, CJ University, Christopher Joseph, out of Miami, Florida. When you win that lawsuit, make sure you publish that, bro. Hey, y'all with the business tonight. CJ University. He actually was in Las Vegas about a week ago. And we got a chance to sit down and talk. And he was like, Will, I don't even know if you remember coming to Houston, but you changed my life. To see a black man talking about credit and leveraging credit and making money off of credit and investing and doing all of this. He was like, that was unheard of growing up how I grew up. And he told me his story. He said he was working at Foot Locker and he came to an event that I was doing in Houston, and he heard the information and it sparked something in him. And he went all in, and within about a year or two, he was able to walk away from his job and he had made his first 6 figures. Let me say that again. He went from making $8 an hour at Foot Locker to making his first 6 figures with the information that I poured into him. And then he said, Will, I don't even know if you remember this, but when I was out here doing my thing and I was posting videos and I was tagging people, you were the only one who reposted me and showed me love. And other people started to follow me and started to do business because they saw I was connected to you. A lot of people don't do that. And anybody who's ever worked with me, they know it's enough for everybody out here to eat. I don't never hate on people trying to get their money. I've given away more game for people to get in this space than I've guarded. I've given away more game than I sell to you guys. And I really don't even sell it. It sells itself. And I have countless amount of stories just like CJ who I've helped change their life. Can you imagine how many people I've helped take off the streets who they didn't know any other route? Shout out to my brother Armand, who did 16 years straight in the penitentiary, who came out, and you guys could follow his story. A lot of you who've been following me know who he is. Y'all think he my bodyguard. But Armand did 16 years straight, and he just told me he's been out 3 years, and he's actually spent most of his life in prison. But he would call me from prison. I was one of the few who would accept his calls. And then I started sending him my books. Well, I sent him my book, Credit is King. And then I started talking to him and telling him, look, when you get out of prison, I'm gonna put you up on the game of entrepreneurship, because they don't care about your past as long as you're focused on correcting your future. And so after pouring in him for 2 years prior to him getting released, he gets out, he goes through his ups and downs. Because I tell people all the time, I don't take care of grown-ups. I give you the tools, but you got to do the work. And he's going to do his first 6 figures this year, 3 years removed. You guys don't have to take my word. Go follow him. Baleen Solutions is his page on Instagram. I can keep going. Name whoever you think is at the top in any credit space. They've worked with me. Over 50,000 virtual mentees. 7-figure real estate portfolio. Look, that may not sound impressive to a lot of people, but you're talking to somebody who at one point was homeless. Coming from a city where I didn't even think home ownership for myself personally was possible. Shout out to him 500. He'll tell you all the time. I'm in this space because of Will Roundtree. We don't have to sugarcoat tonight. I show nothing but respect to all of them brothers over there, because it's enough for everybody to eat. That's the beautiful part. It's enough for everybody to eat. And see, that's what's wrong with our community. You're supposed to pave the way so the next can come behind you and do it even better. Because when the next person come behind you and make it better, that just makes the person who started it journey even easier. Because now you just see what they did. They flipped what you taught them, and then you just build off of that. So we just continue to build off of each other. But we don't want to, we can't live like that. But anyways, 7-figure real estate portfolio. Again, at one point I was homeless. Didn't even know where I was going to live, how I was going to make it, none of those things. To being able to build something that I'm going to be able to leave for generations to come. I didn't just go and do a bunch of real estate flips. No, I own like real properties. I've shown you guys my HUD-1 statement. Yes, I own bank buildings. I own I own my portfolio. Every single step of the way I've done, I've given you guys a glimpse of what I've done. As they say, you can pull my Carfax. I was showing you guys my credit scores. Built several successful companies, helped multiple people build their successful business. Real estate investor in buying businesses. And I've helped over 4,500 small and medium-sized businesses get access to up to $500 million in capital since I have been in this space. Now you may say, well, Will, how the hell is that even possible to help people get up to $500 million. Well, if you do the math, you will see that's that's only $111,000 on average per entity that I've assisted over time. Yes, I was one of the first on the internet to have a course on Toro. Nobody was talking about Toro in 2019. Shout out to my brother Lucky Lopez. I put Lucky in the game, and now he's the biggest car person on the internet. Go and look up my Toro course. Lucky's on there. Him picking my brain, asking how do you get in this space. Now he's one of the biggest car persons on YouTube and on social media. I salute him all the time. I don't have to make this stuff up. The Toro game was not the Toro game before I made it the game of Toro. People didn't even know how to spell it. What is that? Toro? Toro. I was doing it way before a lot of these guys made it popular. And I gave y'all the game for damn near for free. Damn near gave y'all the game for free. People was charging $2,000-$3,000 from the course that I put out for $300 to $500. Was giving y'all the game. I've interviewed some of the biggest CEOs with my podcast. I was doing podcasts long time ago before they were even called podcasts. Google, it's online. I used to have a podcast called Vegas Raw where I would play hip hop. And I was interviewing old school artists. I was doing that podcast was in 2008. I'm just giving y'all a preview of like how far ahead of time I was with a lot of the things that I've done. And I'm only sharing all of this for one particular reason. And that is because I know a lot of us on here, it's not just me, deal with imposter syndrome. A lot of us are so consumed of what other people are quote unquote pretending to accomplish, because some of them are, that you guys sometimes aren't even paying attention to what you've already accomplished. And yeah, y'all can keep the jokes coming. Trust me, they don't bother me. I'm really trying to make this a lesson. Some of them are funny though. Soulja Boy did it first. That's a good one. But I'm really saying this to impress upon you. This is why a lot of people are unhappy, because they're so busy focused on the what they think other people are accomplishing more than them of. And that's not even the case. That's not. If you were to sit down and put together what your level of accomplishments are, no matter how small or large they are, you need to celebrate that, and you should be celebrated. If you moved your family into a different zip code, that should be celebrated. If you paid off some debt, that should be celebrated. If you was able to start your business and you were able to leave your 9 to 5, if you were able to get out the rat race, if you was able to help your spouse leave their job, if you was able to help your parents with some of their bills, if you were able to do any of the things that you didn't even imagine you can do, you should be celebrating, and celebrate it within your own circle. Stop worrying about what so-and-so is doing. Because here's what ends up happening. People are always blaming their circumstances on what they are. Let me say that again. People are always blaming their circumstances on what they are. Oh, I'm a single parent. Or I'm a convicted felon. Or I'm a college dropout. Or I'm a high school dropout. Or I'm this, I'm that. We come up with reasonings when those should be the very reasons on why you dig in and focus on becoming who you told your inner child self that you could become. See, a lot of you owe your inner child an apology. You owe your inner child an apology because all of the posters you hung on the wall, all of the dreams you said you was going to accomplish, everything you told your teacher you was going to be, your parents, your big bro, your big sis, and your A1 and day ones, and you just gave up on all of that. For what? Got to be careful because that celebrating brings a lot of hating. Crown, I'm going to give that to you, but it's only hating when you let it impact you. See, it's only hating when you let it bother you. See, when people are in my inbox mad about their life, it doesn't bother me when I'm in the first class on my way to Hawaii. It shouldn't bother you when you have a penthouse suite in downtown Milwaukee. It shouldn't bother people when you can pay all your bills on time. When you're doing what when you've done what you were supposed to do and put yourself and your family in a different position, why should what other people have to say bother you? Because when I was poor, people was hating. When I had holes in my shoes, people was laughing at me. When I was no good to nobody financially, I still got hated on because I was a grown ass man who couldn't provide for anybody else, barely myself. So why should I be worried about when I can pay my bills on time, when I can eat at any restaurant? I just got upset at myself for my situation and it made me even more hungry. Absolutely. That should be the fuel. That should be your fuel. So you need to be apologizing to your inner child for abandoning everything that you told yourself that you was going to be or who you was going to become. And ask yourself, why did you give up? Let me give you some questions you should be asking yourself and your inner child. My phone keeps going off, y'all. All right. These are some of the things I ask my inner child, and I ask myself every day. Who do you listen to? My team know I ask this question often. Who do you listen to? When people say, oh, there's so-and-so hating on you, I ask them, do that person got 100 million? Because can't no one but somebody with 100 million hate on me. It's like I'm not listening to anybody who can't get into the same restaurants I can get in. I'm not listening to anybody who no. If they ain't got 100 million, they can't hate on me. Or anything with millions attached to it. So who do you listen to? Are you going to listen to those haters? Who they're really just trying to get your attention? It's no different than a troll online. See, trolls are really lonely people. They have no friends. People really don't like them. They know they rub people the wrong way. They know people are just with them because they make people laugh. So a troll is a troll because they need to get your attention. But when you ignore a troll, they go back to their hole. They stop bothering you because you don't give them no attention. Same thing with people who quote unquote say, oh, this person is hating on. How can somebody hate on you who doesn't know you? How can somebody hate on you who you don't benefit from? Yes, I'll tell y'all about the webinar. Who do you listen to? What are you reading? What are you reading? One of the things I tell people to do, stop reading all of the negative stuff people putting in your posts. I ain't arguing with no one waiting on a refund check. For real. I'm not. What are you reading? Some people feel they got to read every single thing that people are saying. Are you reading just smut on the internet? Yeah, trust me, I get it. I like a little bit of controversy and here and there, but I'm not going to go out of my way to go and read information that does nothing but take me out of my element. And now I'm depressed. No, I don't have time for that. People who know me know my peace is extremely important to me, and I create that by any means necessary. I cut shit off quick. Who do you hang out with? My team will tell you, look, somebody came around me today when me and Daniel was in the office working. And you know, he was kind of in a space. The first thing I'm gonna say, man, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's going on? What up, Armand? Hey, tap in, Armand, if you can. Tap in. I want you to hop in the live real quick. Who do you hang out with? If you hang out with me, I'm never gonna let you go through a period when you feeling like no, like look, we gotta lift each other up. We live in a world that thrives off of negativity. We live in a world where you get paid off of negativity. Negativity is celebrated. So no, you around me, I want to do my best to help uplift you some kind of way. Even if it's a word giving you some level of encouragement. I reach out to people from time to time and I just say, yo, just checking on you. I don't want nothing. I'm not one of those friends who calling you and say, hey, what's good, fam? And then the next message is like, yo, can I ask you something? Anytime somebody say, can I ask you something on that second response, you know it's about they need to borrow some money. I don't reach out to people when I need something. I want to just make sure, ask you how you doing, how your day going, how you feeling, how's you doing mentally. Who do you hang around? Are people in your circle bringing you down? Sometimes the hardest person to cut off is the person you need the least to be around the least. Let me say that again. Sometimes the person you need to cut off the most is the person you need to be around the least. And I say it like that because it's hard to cut people out of our lives. We've become so desensitized with being loyal to people who bring no value to your appreciation. That means you elevating. So who are you hanging out with? You gotta be very careful. You gotta be very careful. What up, bro?
Peace, bro. How you feeling?
Man, everything, man. Look, we on here talking about just being able to become what you think, become who you said you want to become. And I briefly shared your story, man, about, you know, you doing 16 years in prison. And actually, really, if we count up your entire life, you spent most of your life in prison. But to be able to come out and accomplish what you've accomplished and really just sharing how I was pouring into you and I wasn't looking for a check, even what you've built now. I've never asked you for $1 or asked you to give me a percentage of what you do or to become an affiliate of what you've built because I genuinely just want to see you win. But I just want you to hop on here real quick, man, and just share your story because I want people to know, like, these are real people I'm talking about.
Okay.
And you can go and even let them know, even when we first met, I wasn't always this guy, but I always did think differently, though.
Facts. Well, I want to first, give you your flowers because you did pour into me. You never say, "Hey, man, you owe me," You never look, to be, in a sense, repaid. And a lot of people don't know, like, you really start pointing to me way before I even got out. Like all them phone calls. I think I still owe you for a bunch of phone calls that I made. So I think I still owe you on that sense. But yeah, I mean, you poured into me, way before I even touched down. And most importantly, that you let me do the footwork, though. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy. You didn't say, hey, here's a stack of money. You know what I'm saying? Or here's a stack of resources. I still have to put the footwork in, even though, and that's the thing I tell people, like, people think like, oh, we'll put you on at the end of the day. I still have to do the footwork. So I still have to go out and grind. Doing 16 years in prison, unless a person actually did time in prison, they really don't have the concept of starting over again in your life. Coming back out trying to find a place to stay, trying to reunite with family, friends, and things like that. And then just trying to make a living because you have lost a lot of earning potentials by being gone. So I knew that coming home, a 9 to 5 wasn't going to cut it. So what I was going to do, go and give somebody else, after doing 16 years, go and give somebody else another 30 years on the job, to me that didn't make sense. So I had to come up with a game plan. And part of that game plan was just changing the mindset, really, and understanding, like, hey, you can do something different than what you had did before. So I kind of hit the ground running way before I even came home. I was studying, whether it was finance, whether it was credit, whether it was real estate, just studying, and then just studying mindset too. Like, one of the best books that I read was The Wealthy Choice. When I was incarcerated, I read that book several times. And I'm like, and then I'll tell you something, sometimes these concepts don't hit you right away until you start actually practicing these concepts. And then you say, oh, that's what they meant by the opportunity cost of your time, the opportunity cost of your money, leveraging credit. So sometimes you don't even get these things right away, but you continue to keep on reading them and you continue to keep on practicing these things, and then it all comes together like glue. It all stick together like glue, I should say. But I'm happy to say that, just taking the information and just running with it have put me in a position where I had to work a 9 to 5. Because I dread that. I'm like, man, I'm going to go and work somewhere for $20 an hour. I can't even imagine that,
Yeah.
Imagine that. I'd rather wake up every day, and we had this conversation before. I'd rather wake up every day figuring it out, even if I just come at a break-even point. Because if I'm working a job, I'm going to be capped at my potentials. But if I wake up every morning and say, hey, I got to figure it out, eventually I'm going to break free from that cap and expand, to different horizons.
No.
So, yeah, I definitely give your flowers just for, even, encouraging. That was big, not letting me give up on myself, not letting me accept no for an answer. And you can contest that, out of all people, it was many days I was discouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you remember the incident trying to get my first apartment.
Yeah, I remember.
And you remember that whole incident? You was like, hey, when they gave me the apartment, then they rescinded the apartment. And I was like, hey, why I have to be a tenant? Why can't I be a landlord? So I had started just changing the way I was thinking. Never put myself in a position where the person can tell me no again.
No, definitely,
so
man.
That was big, bro.
No, absolutely, man. And like you said, you did the work. I mean, even when I was bringing you on the road with me, like I did that to give you a different experience. One, to get you out of the comfortability of being back in Milwaukee and being recently released from being incarcerated, because your mind was still enslaved. So I had to show you something different. And when you got a chance to see that, and me just seeing your reaction and you seeing now the possibility of what you could become, man. And that's what I'm most proud of, to see that, what you've been able to accomplish, because everybody counted you out when you got out.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people don't know, like, we've been knowing each other way before this. It's like we've been knowing each other since like 99, 2000. And even just back then, like, you and I was always on something different. We just didn't know what the vehicle was going to be, man. So now I'm proud of you, bro, man. And you've built a name for yourself out there. You partner with just about every single organization in the city of Milwaukee, throughout Wisconsin, and your name is ringing bells. And it's interesting. And when we went to that that what was that event we went to? That when we went to the black and white ball, I had to take a step back and be like, man, my bro did 16 years.
That was encouraging.
But now he's partnering with VPs of banks. It was like I laughed inside because if a person would have wrote your story of how it's going, they wouldn't even believe it.
Facts.
They wouldn't even believe it.
Facts. And it's funny you mentioned that because that was a turning point even at that moment. You know, when I got there, like, I'm like, man, I have went from the courtyards to the red carpet on the black and white at the black and white ball.
Yeah.
Sit and rubbing elbows with vice presidents and presidents of the bank of banks, that people that's in position. And another thing that was so encouraging were people that knew me and I ain't know them. You know, like these was bankers. These are people that make the decisions. These are people who who got the capital.
Man.
So yeah, that was a turning point for me as well. And it's funny because we never really talked about the black and white ball, and now I see, you kind of felt the same way I felt. Like I was like, wow, I was thinking back about.
Yeah, man.
So that was a dope moment.
And I'm gonna tell you my favorite moment of that moment for me personally.
Right.
When I was able to win that auction.
And they brought that up today. I had a meeting today. They brought that up. They brought that whole, you being able to outbeat, everybody with that.
Yeah.
They brought that subject that came up today. It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah. So
like, hey, where's your mentor who beat everybody else out? I said, he's still around.
Yo, I got to tell y'all the story.
Yeah.
So we're at this black and white ball, and it's an auction, and they were auctioning off like sweet tickets to the Bucks and the Lakers. They were auctioning off jerseys. They were like, it was a lot of like nice stuff in there. And it was one particular thing in there that I wanted, and it was an autographed jersey with Giannis and an autographed basketball. Matter of fact, I still got the jersey here. Let me see if I can pull it up. And it's interesting because our mom said, he told the people, he was like, oh, Will gonna win that.
I knew it.
So for those who haven't seen this is an autographed jersey. Got the letter of authenticity by Giannis. Here's the letter of authenticity right here, just so you guys see I ain't capping. And then it's also autographed basketball as well, too. And it's interesting because I was in there bidding with doctors, attorneys, high-level CEOs of construction companies. And it's crazy because they told me they actually was trying to outbid me just to see if I would stop, because it wasn't a lot of black people there. Out of 1,100 people, it may have been 40 black people. And you had to get invited. You had to be of a certain net worth. Like the average table was probably $10,000 a table. Like it was one of those type of galas. And it felt good knowing, coming from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with everything, in my checkered past, and being able to outbid to get this for my son, that was a moment for me, man. And I really had to exhale and it felt good, man. And it was for a charity.
Right. It was nice. That was nice, And I knew it. I told everybody too. I was like, man, I said, man, we'll go win that bid. And it's just, if you think about just putting into the context, the overall picture, man, it was a lot of people that had real businesses going on, like real capital. It was I lost track of how many banks was there.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Every bank VP,
in there,
every CEO.
Like bankers that I'm quite sure half of the people that's on your live right now bank with. Easily. Because these people not just in the state of Wisconsin, these people are all over.
Definitely.
That came there, so, and then, then of course you had Eric Benet, who's a Milwaukee native, was a performer, if you remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was there for you to outbid everybody. That was pretty heavy there, and they still talk about that to this day.
Yeah, no, it felt good, man. Well, I ain't gonna hold you up, man. I'll be in the city next week, so I
Oh,
appreciate you,
absolutely.
man.
Definitely connect. I got some good things going on. We'll rock about some new ventures going on.
Definitely,
So
man.
yeah.
Definitely
All right.
appreciate
Hey,
that.
peace, man.
All right, thanks, man.
Once again, thanks for having me.
Love, man. Yep. So y'all make sure y'all go follow my brother. And so that boils back to who do you hang around? You know, it feels good to be able to go home and hang with people who are doing just as dope things as you, pouring back into the city as much as you are. My brother Crown, like we got a lot of dope people back in Milwaukee who I feel good about being a catalyst to helping a lot of people in that city and be a part of their journey. Like that feels good to me. Because Milwaukee is a city, first of all, that a lot of people aren't familiar with. And two, it's a city where a lot of people do not have a lot of options. Like you tell people you from Milwaukee, they think it's Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days. No, Milwaukee is a city where you got to know somebody to go through that city. But to know that I can go back and really be able to help my people, that's what I do this for. Which goes to my next one. I'm gonna wrap up here soon. What do you believe in? Do you even believe in yourself? Do you believe it's possible? See, I believed that all of this was possible when it was impossible. Let me say that again. I believed all of this was possible when it was impossible, but it was only impossible to others who couldn't see it. And I was fine with that. What do you believe in? And then the last one is, do you believe in yourself? See, all of these things is important to ask yourself, because you will only be able to get to that next level by changing everybody else's story. Half the people's stories is fabricated. That's why they call it a biography. Half the people's bios is fake. You know, I did a live a couple weeks ago. I said, look, stop saying you're an investor and you don't own shit. Like, take investor out of your bio. Take credit specialist out of your bio and your credit jacked up. So don't compare your story to somebody else's story when most of their stories is fabricated. I'm so tired of all these credit people. It's sickening. And it's only sickening because I really did my best to be extremely integral in this space. No, I wasn't perfect. There were some people we couldn't help. But here's the difference between me and a lot of other people. If it didn't work and we didn't do what we say we were going to do, we made it right. We didn't run from people. You can call my office. I have a team that will answer the calls. Now, if you calling and being nasty and being belligerent and all of that stuff, that's a different scenario. But we pick up the phone. We don't change our business number. I don't make my page private when you get upset. So I do this not just for my own self, but really to pour back into other people. So this coming up Thursday, and I actually even forgot what day of the week it is. This Thursday, I'm having a free webinar. You can go click the link in my bio. 2023 being the year of change. But in order to have change, you have to have improvement. What are you improving on in your life? If there's no improvement, you're going to be the same person in 2024. Period. If there's no change and there's no improvement, you're going to be the same person in 2024. Free webinar. I need you to click the link in my bio and see the registration link. Yeah, it is lifestyle marketing. See the link in my bio. Free webinar this Thursday. And then Saturday, Las Vegas, Nevada, real estate meetup. Look, it's bigger than real estate. I want you to come out, meet some people. I'm going to have the top wholesaler of Las Vegas, Nevada here speaking. where it's not just some putting up bandit signs. We're talking about how to actually go to the bank and deal with the asset manager, the bank president, that level of wholesaling. They ain't teaching that in a lot of these wholesale courses. It's people still saying put up bandit signs, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we're going to show you how to get directly to the people who hold the keys to the house. That's why you need to be at this event here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I have the #1 realtor of Las Vegas, Nevada, who's not only a residential realtor, but he is also an investor himself. See, the reason you want to work with a realtor who's an investor-friendly realtor, because they know both sides of the fence. Most realtors know zero about investing. And yes, he owns some properties. He doesn't just have investor in his headline. He actually owns some properties. If you follow him, you'll actually see him rehabbing his 40 unit right now. And then I'm working on bringing a commercial realtor, a commercial investor realtor who does investing on the scale of shopping plazas, marijuana facilities, that level. We're looking at a deal right now that I'm possibly looking at investing in. But if you want to learn on the commercial side and learn what to look for, learn how to read a pro forma, all of those things, you need to be at that event. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you the money. I'm going to show you how to take down the deal. I'm going to show you how to be able to invest in the property without having to show proof of income. To all my self-employed individuals who's worried about not being able to invest in real estate because they don't have tax returns, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to take a line of credit or get a business credit card or take a personal installment loan and be able to invest in real estate. For those who don't know, I bought my first investment property with a credit card. Ask Beyond Win. Showed him the game. He's been in the game 20 plus years. But when I showed him that one strategy, his business went to a different level. That's why you need to be at this event, January 21st. It's not a pitch fest. I'm not there to pitch you. You're there to get some actionable steps so you can go out there and execute. And if you want to get more strategy, if you want more high level concepts, if you want my resources, then you can choose to come and do business with me. But it's not a pitch fest where the whole time I'm showing you PowerPoints on why you should do business with me. I'm breaking down the concepts on how to get into real estate. Like, that's one of the things that really irks me with this new wave of influencer. Like, I was watching a video the other day and the guy was like, hey, let me show you how to get a car without having to use the bank. This is how he talking. And so if you want more information, you see these two cars behind me? Yeah, I got these two cars. I got them on Turo, and they making me millions of dollars. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Like, that's people's video content. And all the average person saw was a car, make money, Turo. Oh, sign me up. That's not teaching. See, this is teaching. Hey, do you want to know how to go to the bank and be able to get a vehicle with no money down? First of all, this is the credit score you need to have. These are the documents you need to take with you. This is how you speak with the underwriter. This is how you take the car and do a cost analysis and then calculate your ROI to make sure that the car is going to actually service the debt and make you money. That's too many words for most of the people. Ask a credit specialist what debt servicing means. Oh, no, I don't like debt. Like, they can't even tell you what half the words mean. That's why you want to be at this event. See the link in my bio, go to closing90.com. And we're going to show you these strategies, these concepts. These ain't no plays or hacks or tips or tricks. No, these are concepts. See, the triangle offense in the basketball was a concept. But a trick play is just a play. No, the event is not going to be recorded. It's not recorded. The reason it's not recorded because we're going into a new establishment and we don't know their Wi-Fi capability. So again, I'm not new to doing events. And if the Wi-Fi is acting up and we sell this live stream, then I look like the bad guy. And then y'all will be in my DM saying I stole $47 from people. So this is a brand new establishment. We're looking to help them bring some business to their establishment. And it's a way for us to do more business in the city. So we want to test out the venue, test out their Wi-Fi. And if we can do the event and live stream the next one, possibly we may make that. Or I just may keep it exclusive and eventually just gonna have to find your way to Vegas. If you got credit, you can make it to Vegas. Like that's the other thing. People get credit just to say they got credit. No, invest it. Show me you about that life. You got credit repair specialist in your bio, but you don't use your credit. You can't be a credit specialist with low limits. Get your limits up. Okay? So you can go and get to these events, not just mine, but any event that's going to help you move the needle on your journey. DTI don't ring a bell to them. I vouch for Mr. Will Roundtree. You should pay him to get your job done. Scare money don't make no money. Appreciate that. Thank you. What's your thoughts on Chat GPT? I think it's something that can definitely help people. I will say that eventually I believe people are going to run into rinsing and repeating the exact same information because it's not enough beta data to really determine, but it is better than nothing. I have my own copywriter and and I have used Chat GPT in other areas, but it reminds me of like how everybody, like I can always tell the people who went to Fiverr and got their logo because I know like 10 businesses who say they're doing $1 million who got the same logo. And not that there is anything wrong with that, but as you progress in business, you need to progress your marketing. I mean, I've changed my logo 6 times because I grew with the times. Yes, I at one point had the Fiverr logo. Chat GPT, they're going to be in trouble soon. Absolutely, Sabrina. That's what I was really trying to say nicely. Eventually, y'all just going to all have the same information. Again, we get one thing and we jump on the train. Like we got to start learning how to do our research and like it's a lot. It's a lot. But here's the thing, I'm going to leave y'all with this. Like nobody said being a CEO was easy. Hence the book. Full-time CEO, the shit they don't tell you. It's a lot of stuff that nobody will tell you guys. They'll just say, quit your job, work really hard, and believe in yourself. That shit don't work. It don't. You may be in the industry that serves you no purpose and where you will never make any money. I don't care how much money other people done told you they made money in that industry. A lot of them lying. I spoke with somebody the other day. I said, look, you need to sell that business. And if you could break even, do it. Because it costs you money to run that company. But see, nobody want to have those conversations with other people. They need to keep feeding the beast. And what I mean by feeding the beast, you got to keep lying to people so that they can continue to pay you for your bullshit information. That's why people don't want to tell you the truth. Out of town visiting family and shy. We'll catch the next event. Keep building and sharing. Absolutely. Thank you, fam. People keep feeding the beast because they don't want you to stop buying into the bullshit that they peddling. So they got to keep lying to you. No, I'm going to tell you the truth. Even though it's going to be unpopular. even though it may go against everything that you heard user 173660978 say on TikTok. And I'm fine with that. And as I often say, I'm fine with being different, which is why I stand out, because I'm not trying to be like everybody else, nor have I ever tried to be like anybody else. So y'all see the links in the bio. If you want more information about real estate investing, today we had a dope class on real estate investing in my REI 90 program where I discussed, and I need y'all to DM me and let me know if y'all would like more, if y'all want me to come on and do and talk about this. But there's about to be a housing shortage that nobody is talking about, and there's facts to back this up. This is why you're going to want to learn how to be the owner. You want to be able to be in position to own the land. He who owns the most land wins. But we're too focused on everything else about what's going on. Meanwhile, they're coming in your neighborhood, buying your houses pennies on the dollar, so you can go take that money and go on vacation. They laughing at you as you cashing the checks at the bank. That little money that they gave you to buy the house, they laughing at you. The bank teller laughing at you. Because they know, got him. Another one. Took peanuts for this house. We about to run it up in his own neighborhood. He don't even know. Go keep buying them shoes. Go keep taking them vacations. Keep putting rims on your car. Cars. They laughing at us. Well, not me. And not all of y'all, because I know a lot of y'all doing the right thing. But they laughing at our culture. Because they know they can give us a couple dollars, buy your house, push you out to the suburbs where you got a gate in the backyard now, as opposed to building in the communities where they're creating the wealth themselves. We got to do better, y'all. So make sure, DM me REI 90 if you would like more information. Make sure you pull up to my real estate meetup event, Las Vegas, January 21st. Free webinar, January 19th. And until then, I will see y'all at the